How's it going, Dr. E? Alma Flagg School. Um, I'm Agbai Iroha. I had the pleasure of coming to speak with some of you last year. Due to the situation that's going on right now with COVID 19, I won't be able to see you guys in person, but I love what the faculty is doing with setting this up, and I was honored when they invited me to speak to you guys again. Now, a little bit about myself. Uh, I was born in Nigeria, came to America when I was 4 with my family, lived in Jersey ever since then. Grew up in Union, New Jersey. You see the farmers on my chest. Played football in high school, was blessed to play football in college, studied software engineering. That was my major, and I didn't know anything about software engineering when I first got to Monmouth, but in the beginning, I was kind of discouraged because the kids in my classes, they, were introduced to software engineering at a younger age than I was. So they were flying through the classes, and I would just go to office hours, meet with this professor, Professor Jan Roan, and she would reteach the lessons to me. So something that taught me was not giving up. You know, there were about 30 students that wanted to be software engineers, but by the time I graduated, there were only 12 in the course in my grade. So it just taught me like, if you don't know something, just ask questions. Asking questions goes a long way. At first, it may feel awkward, or you may not want to look a certain way, but just ask that question. Um, People usually love when you ask questions rather than later on you telling them you didn't know or you didn't understand. Just speak up in the beginning. Um, so yeah, I'm working as a software engineer right now for a company called Site Tracker. We're in the telecom industry, so we build applications. We have a product for those in telecom, like our clients include Verizon, Vodafone. We're working on T-Mobile, but it's a pretty large company. They've raised well over 60 mil, and I got the job actually through a old teammate at Monmouth. Um, so, what does it mean to be a software engineer? Software engineering means you have this knack for solving problems. That's really any type of engineer, but I'll just break it down to what I know. Software engineer, we have this problem and we want to come up with a solution. And what that entails is you break the problem up into smaller, like sub problems, and then you just solve each problem one by one. And by the time you're done, you solve the biggest problem that was presented to you in the first place. Now, what do you need to be a software engineer? You need your mind and you need your hands. These are the money makers right here. You just need to look at things from a different angle than everybody. You just have to be able to think up a solution, look at it from a different way, and then present your solution. I would say that's a big part of my job, is being able to articulate the idea that's in your head. Everything makes sense up here, but it has to make sense when it comes out of your mouth so your colleagues can understand. Um, Educational requirements, really, in this day and age, you really don't need a degree to be a software engineer. What you need are skills and proof of these skills, and you can learn almost anything on YouTube, websites like Udemy. you know you can learn, you can look up what are the most popular languages, most fruitful languages today, and you can literally learn them online, sometimes for free, sometimes you pay like a small one-time payment and you can learn anything. So when it comes to educational requirements, having a bachelor's, you know, helps. But I know my manager at work, he was a he was a history teacher and worked at a bakery prior to getting into engineering. He was self-taught or taught by the internet. You know, everything is on the internet nowadays. So really, a degree is not, you know, the end all for getting a job as an engineer. What it is getting skills, fine tuning those skills, and sort of building a portfolio and presenting those skills to a potential employer. Um, there's so many different types of software engineering or developer roles, and I'm just going to read off some of them that I have in front of me. You can be a front end developer, so that means you develop the stuff that looks pretty. You know, when you look at Instagram and you see all the animations and the pictures, and you double tap and you get the love icon, all of that stuff. A front end developer builds that stuff.
Another role you can have is a back end developer, so you can deal with data. You know, data is stored somewhere in a database, and you want to pull it and manipulate it to make things look good. Some examples of data would be I have an Instagram uh, that has an ID, so that has all of my information. And also with my information, I can see all of my friends. And then it gets deeper than that with I can see all of my friends' posts and their profile and my direct messages and all my likes, all my saved posts. You know, all of that stuff is held in a database somewhere. So a backend engineer would go and fetch that data, do what they need to do, and usually pass it to the front end developer to make it look pretty. I think Instagram looks kind of pretty. Then we have full stack developers who do all of these things. You know, you do both back and front end development. We have web developers. You know, everybody uses websites. You know, I'm going to post this on YouTube. A web developer built that along with a front end and back end developer. We have mobile developers. You know, for making apps. Uh, Apps are a big thing nowadays. You know, mobile developers, we build those in various languages. Um, so I've mentioned languages a lot. In software engineer, there are different languages, and these are just code languages. So different systems are built with different code languages. And really, once you learn one language and you get really good at it, it makes it easier to learn other languages. And if you're looking for jobs, the more languages you know, actually, I won't say the more languages you know, the more languages that you know very well, you know, if you know 10 languages but you don't know them all so well, that won't make you valuable. If you know one language and you're great at one language, that makes you more valuable than somebody knowing 10 coding languages and not being so proficient in all 10 of those. So, whenever you learn a language, try and learn the ins and outs of it so you can actually put that on your resume and say, I know said language. Academic skills. So, when it comes to being an engineer, you know, depending on what you want to do, you don't really need to be that good at science. You don't really need to be that good at math. But you need to be logical. You know, you need to be able to think logically. And humans, we're not logical thinkers. Like, as soon as you're born, you're not a logical thinker. You know, it has to be nurtured, fine tuned to practice. You know, um, ask yourself questions. Why is this doing that? You know, I can guarantee you the people that made the popular apps today, they did so by asking a question like, why does this do what it does and can it be done better? That sort of, you know, transitions you into being a logical thinker. Question things that are manual, like why can't we automate that? So the main skill you would need is to be a logical thinker. Um, I hope I didn't bore you guys. I hope I didn't ramble. Sometimes I can ramble too much. But again, I'm Agbay Roja, and I'm absolutely honored to be talking with you guys. And I wish you nothing but the best of luck. Um, if you have any questions, they should have my email attached. So yeah, just shoot me an email anytime. You can find me on LinkedIn and just send me a DM, and we can just chop it up. Thank you.